Alright, I assume that this is all synced up, and I apologize if there's me being weird on the screen. I don't know exactly how it is, and I just noticed one little thing that I couldn't fix after that. I have a private little studio here. Anyway, so today we're talking about photos. I talked about the iPad last time, and which I thought was great. The only problem with it was there was a lot of information, I felt like. So I want to kind of get a little more concise and talk only about one app this time. I haven't gotten any feedback from anybody, so I don't even know if anyone's really watching these or has feedback for me. But so I'll say again, if you want to share something with me, please comment, and then I will know that you want to learn some stuff from me. So 1 second, let me just fix a little thing. I don't get any of these crazy things. All right, so Photos. Photos is this cool little app that I just closed that. It's the app up in the top, on the top row there. It has a little rainbow flower looking thing. So we're going to open that up, and I've just downloaded a couple pictures on here so I can show you what's going on with it. They're just stock pictures I got off the internet. I haven't really taken any pictures for this, so I apologize for that. But I thought I'd show you some things. So I'll just talk about all the functionalities of Photos and the different things that you can do with it and how it works with iCloud as well. iCloud is a massive beast, so that's another video I'll have to do someday, but I think I can piece out a little bit of it by starting to talk about it here. So, when you open up Photos for the first time, you'll get to this screen, and it'll have whatever pictures you've taken on here or saved off the internet. Any image you find on the internet, you can hold your finger on and save it, and it'll show up here in the Photos app. Whether or not it's actually a photo, but it still works. So if I want to look at any of these pictures, I just have to tap on it, and it zooms it in. I can scroll between the different images by flicking. I'm dragging my finger on the screen. Don't know if you can see that. I'm dragging my finger on the screen, and that's how you can go back and forth between the different pictures. You can always zoom in by doing the pinch to zoom. So that's handy. And also, if you want to get out of the picture, you can also pinch out. And it'll go back to the overview. Now, as you can see, so I'm going to show you one other thing before we jump too far into this. Just real quick on Safari, how to save those pictures. So here's me just downloading those pictures. This is a really nice website called Unsplash. You can use any of these images for free. They're uncopyrighted. They put them up here just so you can put something on a web page or something. So I'm using them for this. So I'm just going to save one of these guys. So if you ever have a picture, I'm downloading the biggest one just so it looks the best. Hopefully it downloads pretty quick. Alright, so all you have to do is hold your finger on it, and then a little thing will come up, and you can just hit Save Image. And it'll save it right to your Photos app. So there you go. In case you were wondering. Alright, so now as we were saying, up at the top you see it says Moments. Okay? These are moments, okay? Photos will partition off your pictures into different events called moments. And they're based on location, when they were taken, etc., etc. And any picture you take on your iPad usually will have location settings on it. You don't have to put them on. You can turn them off. I'm not going to go into detail on the camera. I'll show you that later. But that's just how it groups them up. So you can see that, I got one in November 7th, 2012. That's when that one was made. May 2nd, and today. May 2nd of this year, because it doesn't have a year on it. So if you see it and it doesn't have a year, that means it's this year. Any of these moments I can share. You see there's little share buttons on the right side there, lined up with each moment. Actually, I'm going to give you some more horizontal resolution. Turn this on its side, because I think it will look better. All right, so that's a nice thing about the iPad. You can rotate it any direction, and if whatever floats your boat. Pictures even look better when you zoom in like that. So anyway, I hit the share button, and it'll bring up your little share sheet. There's lots of things you can do on the share sheet. As you can see, I've got a bunch of airdrops showing up on there, which are my phone, my computer, and my laptop. So let me see if I can maximize this resolution on here. The bigger I make it, the better. There we go. Anyway, so I can share to, we got mail, we got Twitter, we got, oh, I tapped on one of them. So, I don't have Twitter set up, so I can't share to Twitter yet, but you can set that up. And this is a share sheet you'll find on many different apps. But down at the bottom, so you get in the middle, okay, let me start over. At the top, you have AirDrop. AirDrop are different devices out there that you can share the picture to. So if your friend has an iPad or an iPhone or a Mac, and they're pretty close to you, you see how I just got a bunch of people popping up on my thing. They're actually belong to devices in the house that I haven't saved contacts for. But if someone comes over to your house and you're showing them some pictures and they want a picture from you, you can just AirDrop it to them by tapping on the share button. Their little AirDrop icon will show up. You tap on it and it sends it over to them without you having to send a message to them or connect to the even without the internet. You can do this. You don't even need the internet because it'll just connect to their device and send it over. Now, AirDrop's not the greatest in the world. It's kind of buggy sometimes, but most of the time it works. And it's really handy when it does, because it's just instant sharing. The second row is all the different places you can share it to. I won't go into detail on those. I'll talk about sharing maybe by itself in one video. And then we will talk about the AirDrop. You have to be like near each other, like physically near each other. So, like I said, your friend comes over to your house. That's why you're able to AirDrop to them. If the friend's over at their house and you're at your house, you can't AirDrop to them. You have to be in the same vicinity of each other. Yeah. So anyway, this third row is the actions that you can do. So first row AirDrop, second row sharing, third row is actions. So I got copy, assign to contact, which you can assign pictures to your contacts. You can use it as a wallpaper. So like if I wanted to select this one image and use it as my wallpaper, I can tap that and set the wallpaper. I'll go more into detail in a minute. You can print the picture if you have an air printer set up. And there are other options in here, except for none of them are showing up right now because I don't have any other apps that give you more actions with pictures. So that's sharing in a nutshell. Yeah, I probably should talk to you about how we use this as a wallpaper, but let me just pull up all these images, because that same one will come up on a singular image. So if I want to use this as a wallpaper, I just tap this Use as Wallpaper button, and it'll bring up a little action sheet. See, it has the time and the date. Move it around, and zoom in and out, however I want it. There's 5 buttons down here at the bottom. Cancel, which goes back, obviously. Set lock screen, which is the screen that we're looking at right now. The one with the time that says slide to unlock, that's the lock screen. Set home screen, which is where all your apps are. So your apps will hover in front of the picture, basically. Set both, which sets to both screens instead of just one or the other. And then perspective zoom, which on the iPad, if you can kind of see it here. If you rotate the device around, it'll adjust itself to make it feel kind of 3D. You don't have to have that on. I can just type that and turn it off. That doesn't do that at all. I personally like it, but some people don't. I know it makes them a little dizzy. You actually can't even see that, so I'm sorry about that. I'm blocking that off. Oh, there I go. See, down there, perspective zoom, on and off. Try not to block the screen too much. Just shrink down my little camera. There we go. All right, so I'll just set this as both of them. And now if I go back to the home screen, look at that. That picture is my background. And even my, come on, turn back on. Lock screen. There we go. So that's setting up a wallpaper, which is pretty handy. So like if you ever want to change that wallpaper, you can find any image on the internet, save it to your Photos app, and set it as your wallpaper for your iPad, both on the lock screen and the home screen. And they could be 2 separate images if you wanted. Cool. So Let's go into like the actual what we can do on top of one of these pictures. So I have this picture here. Actually, let's go to different pictures just to lighten things up. We'll go to the ocean one. It's cool. All right, so I got this picture here, and I have all of our buttons surrounding it, telling us what we can and can't do. The moments goes back to moments. Same thing as pinching it. The little heart. As you can see, the little heart and the edit buttons are right there. The heart is favoriting. And Apple kind of makes this their kind of de facto, this is how you favorite something. You hit the heart button. So, there's a lot of vocabulary you gotta learn with these icons. Like, it's intuitive sometimes, what it means. Like, for example, I got the garbage can down at the bottom, that means delete the picture. But sometimes it's not that intuitive, so I'll just let you know. If you hit the heart button, it adds it to a favorites album. And then you can just go look at all the ones you've hearted. Then there's the edit button. And there's the share button down at the bottom. And then there's a little, looks like a little scroll thing. If I drag my finger on that, it scrolls through the pictures in this moment. Because it's in the moment. And then if I was in an album of pictures, it would have all the pictures and I could scroll through all of them. I'll get to those to albums in a minute. So I'm just going to favorite this, just to show you that I can. I showed you the share sheet, although when you're on the picture, there's a couple of extra things that you can do. Just two extra things that I see right here. One of them is slideshow. So I can tap on slideshow, and I can do it right on my iPad, or I can do it on my Apple TV, which is called Keith. Silly name, I know, but that's what it's called. And the transitions between, you can set different transitions. Ripple, play some music with it. If I turn that on, I can select music. Hold on, turn that on. Let's start the slideshow just to show you what that looks like. Then it'll just like transition to the next one. A little ripple effect. So kind of cool, especially if you have an Apple TV and you want to AirPlay to it and show off your pictures to people on your television. Really, really cool feature. And then another one was AirPlay, which, like I said, you could do a slideshow over AirPlay, or you can just put the picture up there. Not do a slideshow, but just show the picture on the screen, and then when you want to scroll to the next one, you can. And that's what the AirPlay button does, which is handy. And then finally, we got the delete button, which I'm not going to delete this one. Actually, let's delete the one of the girl, just so you see what happens to it. I want to keep the other one in the favorites. So I hit the trash can, and a little delete photo comes up. I went a little fast on that, but that's what it looks like. And then it just kind of disappeared. If I go back to my moments, it's now gone. So but the nice thing about the way that Photos works is that once you delete something, it doesn't actually delete itself for 30 days. It actually just goes to this recently deleted album. So as you see at the bottom, there's Photos, which is all of your photos. And then there's albums, which are just certain collections of photos. As you can see, I have 3 collections here. Camera roll, which is just all of the images that I've saved or taken on my iPad, excluding the deleted ones. They're not on there. And then we got favorites, which are all the ones that I've hearted, the little heart in the corner. And you can see that because there's a little heart next to favorites. That's how you know, oh, the heart means favorites. So if I heart it, it goes into favorites. Same with the garbage can. You can see the little garbage can next to recently deleted. Which is pretty cool. So anything that you delete will show up in this recently deleted, and you can see how much time it's got left on it before it dies. I don't know how well you can see that. It's kind of fading, and I don't know how to zoom in on it because it doesn't tell me when no, it doesn't tell me on there. But any of these pictures in here you can recover. And it'll say underneath each picture how much time is left. This one says it has 30 days, which is the starting time. It counts down from 30. But if I wanted to recover that picture, there's a little recover button down where the delete button was when I was looking at the picture in another place. So I can recover it. But then on the left side, there's a delete button, which if you wanted to delete it and really delete it, that's how you get to it. You first have to move it to the recently deleted album. Then you can hit the actual delete button. And it seems a little extraneous to do all that, like a lot of extra work, but it's safety so that way you don't lose your photos. Because you don't want to accidentally delete that picture of your cute kid or whatever, grandson, you know what I mean. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to recover this one, though, because and it gives me a confirmation saying recover photo. I'm going to recover it. So now there's nothing in my recently deleted. So we'll go back to, and see now in my camera roll it shows up. So I'll go back to the photos section because there's still some stuff I want to show you on here. Actually, I want to finish up this because I did deletion, but I haven't showed you edit yet. Now edit is kind of a beast, so get ready for this. There's a lot of stuff in here. At least it feels like it to me. I feel like I can't adequately explain everything. So I hit edit. Now, you can have shared albums on here. So if you try to hit edit on a photo that was shared to you, you have to actually save it onto your iPad. You can't access someone else's shared picture. So anyway, just so you know. So we have a bunch of buttons on the side. Okay, we've got the done button at the top, which basically goes out. It actually saves all of our edits, is what it does. So when we're done with it, we'll hit the done button to save our edits. At the bottom, you see the cancel button, which cancels all of our edits. It goes back to the way it was before. So we got 5 buttons here in the middle, though, and they're all icons, so it's kind of hard to understand what they are right away unless you know what it is, unless you've seen it before. The magic wand, that you can't see because my video is covering it again. I gotta move myself around. I'll come to this side. Maybe I'll be less obtrusive over here. The little magic wand is it's an auto enhance. So basically, photos will analyze your picture and try to bring out the best color and the best lighting in it. I think it sometimes does red eye, but I'm not really sure. I don't think it does it automatically. Just for reference, on the Mac app, on the Mac Photos app, you can remove red eye, but I don't think you can do it on here. Anyway, so I'll go back to this though. This is what we're talking about, not Mac stuff. So I hit the little icon, and you see the color's kind of changed. It got a little more blue, which is great. And now the done button lit up because there's actually changes that I've made. So I can actually save those. But I can also hit the cancel button and undo it. The other nice thing is that I can undo the magic wand. There's either enhance or no enhance. No auto enhance. No magic wand. So you have the choice. You can do that, or you can make your specific edits to it. Now the next icon down, this is a crop icon. This is a pretty common icon out there, especially in the photography world, obviously, because that's where it came from. But basically, cropping lets you cut off parts of the photo that you don't want. So I'm going to hit the crop button, and I'll show you what it does. The other nice thing is it doesn't just cut off the image. There's also this little dial on the side, which does rotation. So you can rotate your picture if you took it at an angle and you want to fix it, or maybe you even want to put it at an angle when you took it straight on, like this. I'm like surfing through the... Yeah, I'm just being silly. Nice thing is you can hit this reset button and it'll reset it back to where it was. Alright, so on each corner of the picture now that I've activated the crop tool, there's a little corner that I can grab. So if I grab this on the right corner, the bottom right corner is the one I'm holding right now. I can move it all around and shape the picture the way I'd like to. And then when I let go, it zooms in on that frame and makes that frame the new picture. Now you can see that behind, it's kind of faded out, it's a little blurry behind the dial and the reset button. The picture's still there. What it does is it saves your edits. So if you want to revert it back to the way it was before after you've saved it, at least I'm pretty sure about this. Let's find out. I'm gonna save it and see what happens. So hit done. And then I hit edit again. I hit the crop button again. And there it is. There's still that, it's still back there. It's still back there. So your photos will, like, it'll remember the edit so you can undo them. Which is really handy. So there's that. And like I said, all these corners will drag. So you can set the frame on all of them. Right next to the done button in the crop tool, there's a little rotate button. You see the little square with the arrow going up? It's going to rotate counterclockwise when we hit that button. So I hit that button now. Whoop, we flip right up there. So the dial on the side rotates, incrementally, but it doesn't do a full rotation. For full rotation, you got to hit that button. And you can only rotate one way, but hitting it 3 times instead of 1 isn't that big of a deal. You just tap the same button over and over again, and you get through it. Finally, down at the bottom here, let's rotate it upside down just for the fun of it. There's a little frames next to the cancel button in the bottom right corner. If I tap that, it gives me a bunch of different dimensions that I can set my photo to. So if I wanted to make it a square photo, it'll automatically crop it to a square and center the picture there. And I can still move it around if I want to center it. Whatever's in that frame is what's going to save. And there's a lot of different ratios here. Yeah, that's what these the 3:2 is. It's, I think, it's 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall. So it's just that percentage. It doesn't mean it's actually 3 inches wide. It's just at that ratio. And that's what all those numbers are. And then you can always hit original, and it'll go back to what the original size was. But we want the original as in that. So that's the reset button. You can just hit that. So that's the crop tool. Really, that's probably the tool I use the most on here. Just because then I can cut out pieces of the picture. Like if I have a whole bunch of extra blank space behind whatever I took a picture of. So knocking on the door. All right. Anyway, so the next tool we have on our list here is the filters. It's a little. It looks like a little. It doesn't have color, but it looks like a rainbow wheel, kind of. There's 3 colors that are just kind of overlapping. And if you tap that, it'll bring up a whole list. Well, there's not a lot of them, but there's a bunch of different filters that you can apply to your picture. So we got like a black and white one. Well, we got 3 black and white ones, and just adjust the lighting based on which one you want. You can have faded edges or some chrome edges, brings out a bit of color process with fades some of the color. It's a bunch of different things. If you're familiar with Instagram, it's kind of a similar process where you can just apply a filter to your picture. It's kind of cool. I don't use them a lot. I try to take pictures that I don't need filters for, but sometimes it's really handy to have them. Sometimes I do take pictures I want to put a filter on because it just makes it look better. Then we got, well, let's skip the dial for a minute. I think this one. What's that thing is? Oh, that's the red eye. I didn't notice the text down at the bottom. There is a red eye tool on here. I don't have a red eye picture, so I can't show you how red eye works. But the bottom button with the eye and the little line over the eye, it means you're crossing out red eyes. I don't think it works great. Basically, it works as good as any red eye cancellation tool does. So it's good. But it'd be better if you didn't have the red eye to begin with. All right, this middle dial, the 4th dial down here, the fourth button down looks like a little dial. And that is because it's all the fine-tuned settings. So we have the light settings, we have the color settings, and we have the black and white settings. Now, on each of these settings, I'll just show you the light one real quick so I can adjust how much light is in there. So I can turn it down, darken it a different way. And just kind of a ratio in 2 different directions. You can adjust the light levels. The color, you can adjust how much color is in there. I can flood it with blue or I can drain it all of color. Just turn it back to the middle. And then black and white. I can adjust what kind of black and white it is, how the lighting shows up. Well, let's bring back that color. Oh, how did I get back the color? Huh, lost the color. Oh, that's definitely a problem. Yep. Guess I should have tried this out before I started doing it. Sorry, people. I'm still kind of unfamiliar with these controls. I know that they exist, but I'm unfamiliar with them, so it's a bit hard. Nice if there's a nice undo button. Oh! There we go. Okay, so you see how there's a little highlight around the BMW? You can just tap that, and it'll turn off the black and white. So that way you can have your color back. Which is nice. No, the other dials work again. Okay, so on each of these dials, though, on each of these settings, the black and white, light, color, and light, there's also these little the dots with the lines next to them right here, underneath the dial. It's darker now. I just pushed my finger on it. That will let you adjust specific settings on each of them. I'm not a photographer. I'm not super familiar with these, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But if you really want to adjust them, all these settings are underneath each of these dials. A little longer than I thought I was going to go, but that's okay. Let's be done with this picture. Those are the edit tools. They're great. You ought to take a look at them and play with them. Obviously, I didn't know how they all worked, but I just had to sit there and tap buttons until I figured it out. And that's sometimes what you'll have to do. And sometimes you'll bang your head against the wall because you don't know exactly how it works and you can't figure it out on your own. Ask a friend or a family member, just say, hey, come look at this with me, try to figure this out with me. Because odds are, with 2 people, you'll figure it out if you can't figure it out by yourself. All right, let's go back up here. Let's talk about a couple more controls here real quick. I haven't even talked about sharing your photo library. Maybe I'll do that in a later episode. So we've got the search bar. Not right now. So, search bar, we can search for different things. It gives us some suggestions there. I can look for all of my favorites. I can look for everything in 2015 or 2012 or July or November. I'm not going to search. There's not much to search in, but you can type anything there and it will pull it up. You just tap on it and then boom, there's your results. And then you can change them again if you wanted to. So we'll cancel out of that. Select lets you select a bunch of pictures and do certain things to them. So as you see, there's the share icon up. Oh, I'm blocking it again. I hate when I do that. So up in the top left, where I just moved my video from, there's a little share icon and a little garbage can. So you could delete all the pictures that are selected. You see they all have little check boxes on them. It's because I touched each one of them after I hit the select button. So I could share each of them. I could destroy just delete all of them, move them to the deleted folder. I could add them to an album. So I can make a new collection that's not like dynamic, like the favorites are recently deleted. But if you wanted to, say, have a bunch of pictures from your trip to California, you could put them in an album, and then you just have them all right there. The moments are kind of nice because they do that on their own, but if you want to have full control over what goes in the collection, albums are a good way to go. So we'll cancel out of that. I'm not, well, what the heck, we'll add them to an album. We'll make a new one. Test. Save. And they all just kind of fly in there. It's kind of cool. Finally, there's this collections button up here. I can zoom out and get a more refined view of all the pictures. When you have a lot of pictures in here, it looks really cool. There's just this big color wall of all these pictures, and you can tap on any of them and zoom in closer. So that's kind of nice. And that's what those buttons do. Now let's go over to the albums real quick. So like I said, here's my test folder, the test album, excuse me, that I just created. So that will come up. If I wanted to make another folder, or album, I keep saying folder, it's an album. If I want to make another album, there's a little plus icon up in the top left. And you can just hit that, and it brings up a new album prompt. You can type in the name of the album. You can also edit what's there. The 3 on the left can't be deleted because they're part of the system, but the one I created can be deleted, so there's a little X up in the top left corner of the test album. And that means I can delete that album. Doesn't delete the pictures if you delete an album. It just deletes the collection. The pictures just are where they are. They're always going to be in photos unless you specifically delete them from photos. If you delete them from the album, they don't die, they just aren't in the album anymore. So that's something to be aware of when you're deleting things, just FYI. Let's see. Actually, what the heck? We've gone for 30 minutes, maybe I could spend 15 minutes on iCloud Photo Library. So to activate iCloud Photo Library, when you first open up Photos, it will prompt you if you're signed into iCloud to turn on iCloud Photo Library. And that will allow you to have all of your pictures sync up over the cloud. Let's see. So if I go down to Photos and Camera in my settings, I can turn on iCloud Photo Library. All right. Now the handy thing about this is you don't have to keep all of them on your device. So if you have only 16 gigs on your iPad, you can take the picture and then have it get uploaded. Now I should say that the base pricing for iCloud storage is 5 gigabytes, like 5 gigabytes for free. I really hope they're going to change this. Actually, I'll show you real quick just what the storage is on it. Storage. So it says total storage, available and managed storage. I can buy some more storage for iCloud. And this is the tiers for how much space you have in your iCloud photo library if you set that up. In addition to all the other stuff that's in iCloud. You can spend X amount of dollars a month, and it'll give you that much space. Now, granted, 5 gigabytes is nothing. So iCloud Photo Library really isn't much good unless you start spending money on one of these, which is awful on Apple's part, and I really hope they fix this because a lot of other companies have come out and said we have these really good free tier pricing or really cheap for a terabyte of space, like maybe $1 a month for a terabyte of space. I don't know what it is exactly. Someone's probably going to correct me on that and say some pricing, but yeah. So it's not the greatest storage solution. Me personally, I've actually gotten some of this storage and it works great over my devices. And keeping all of my pictures backed up, I really like it. So despite the fact that it's a little more costly than I like, it does do the job, and it does it well. Apple's very good at doing the job well, even though they charge you lots of money for it. They're good like that. Alrighty, going back here. So, like I was saying, you can have all your originals on your iPad, or you can have it optimize the iPad storage. And that will just have little thumbnails download onto your iPad, and then when you open up the thumbnail, it will download the picture. If you got the space, I'd just keep them on there if you can, because it's handier, but yeah. Finally, there's this thing called iCloud photo sharing, as you see at the bottom. If I turn that on, then I can share pictures to this account. Or have people share pictures to my account. This little shared tab comes up down at the bottom in the Photos app. And this is really handy. I went on a business trip down to San Francisco, and we all were taking pictures, all the guys in my group that went down. And it was really nice because we all had iOS devices. And so we were able to set up a shared photo album. And we all posted our pictures to the shared photo album, so that way we'd all have the pictures of everything that we had fun with. So, kind of cool. Don't know why this is taking so long to update the library. So I probably won't go into detail on this right now, just because I don't want to make you guys sit here and watch me wait for this library to update. This is taking a while. But let me just show you one other thing. As you see down at the bottom, there's a little thing that says 4 photos updated just now. If you have this set up with iCloud Photo Library, that will be different. Well, I mean, it will say whatever it says. It says how many pictures are in your library and how many it has left to upload or download. So if you've uploaded pictures from your phone, they'll download onto here, and it will say downloading X amount of pictures. Or if you take a picture on your iPad and it hasn't uploaded yet, it'll say uploading X amount of pictures, where X is however many pictures have been taken. Yeah, I guess we're not doing this today. Sorry, everyone. So that's photos in a nutshell. I don't have much else to share with you right now, so I hope you really enjoyed this video. Please comment. Tell me what you want to know more about. Tell me what you don't understand. Tell me what you want to learn about. I'm going to do a video like this every single week, whether or not people are going to watch it, because it's fun for me. I like talking about this and sharing what I know, just because I want to be helpful to people. So if you like it, comment on it, subscribe to my channel, like the picture, share it with your friends, get the word out so that way people can learn what they can about their iPads, because these devices are amazing. Yeah, they've got their hiccups, but nothing's perfect. And I really enjoy them. Yep. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.